My stepsister became my boyfriend's secret lover with my parents' blessing. Years after, I made them all feel bad for turning on me. I'm Jessica, and I will tell you how all I thought was good in my life got all messed up. I still can't trust how fast things went bad, but when I look back, I should have seen the signs before. It was like all was fine, then slow things felt wrong, and then bang, all fell down. So, let me go back a bit. I was wed to Mark, my high school love, for 8 years. We had 2 good kids, Mia, who's 6, and Max, who's 4. Life was not the best, but it was fine, you see. We had our small home, both of us worked a lot, and the kids were all to us. I thought we were strong, a true group. Then all got odd when my dad, John, wed this lady named Linda after my mom died. Linda had a girl, Tiffany, from a past marriage. Tiffany was not a child too. She was 26 when all this took place. I did not think much of her at first. She seemed okay, if a bit too sure of herself, but I tried to be kind. Be the good girl and make my dad glad since he was having a hard time after my mom died. I thought Tiffany was just part of the new kin, and we would need to be friends. At first, she was just there. She would come for meals, act kind, and smile at all. Not weird, right? But then she began to say things about Mark, and they felt wrong. Like one time she said, "Wow, Jessica, you're so lucky. Mark's not just good looking, but he does well too. He's a great get." I thought she was just being nice, but when I look back, it was so odd. At that time, I just laughed and said, "Yeah, I got lucky." True, I thought she was just strange, maybe a bit green with envy, but safe. Big error. Things began to feel bad. One night, I was doing clothes washer stuff, the normal homework, and I went past the front room. I heard Tiffany's voice, but it had a strange sound, all sweet, which was not like her. She was talking to Mark, and it was not just small talk. I could not hear all, so I went near, and then I heard it. And, "Oh, Mark, Jessica does not earn you. She's not good for you. You need a person who knows you, a person who can match your drive." I stood still. What was this? I looked around the bend, and there she was, sitting too near him on the seat. And Mark, he did not look sick or ill at ease. He looked curious, like he was thinking about what she said. He said something low about being wed, but it was soft. He did not fight back. My heart beat fast, and I wanted to just run in and yell at them both, but I did not. I just stood there, feeling like my world was breaking down in front of me. After I got myself calm, I ran up the steps, my thoughts going fast. Was I mad? Was Tiffany truly trying to take my man? No way, right? But I could not stop the feel that something was wrong. The next day, I told my dad and Linda about it. I thought they would help me, say I was not seeing things. But when I said what I heard, my dad just did not care. "Jessica, you always make a big deal. Tiffany would not do that," he said, like it meant nothing. Then Linda spoke up. "And maybe Mark just needs a person who is more like him, a person who gets him more." I felt like my own kin was lying to me. My own dad and his new wife were saying it would be good if Mark left me for Tiffany. It felt like a hit to my face. I could not trust what I was hearing. From that time, all went bad quick. Mark and I began to fight all the time. We would fight about dumb things, like why he worked late or why he didn't see the kids. But it was all about Tiffany. I could feel him going away. But each time I tried to talk about Tiffany, he would get mad or just not listen. A few weeks after, Mark came home late, like always, and made me sit. He had a grave look on his face, and I knew what was next. My stomach felt tight. "Jessica, we must talk," he said, not looking at me. "I think we should be apart." "Is this about Tiffany?" I asked, though I knew the answer. He said nothing, just looked down like a scared person. "He just wants new things." "New?" he said low. "New?" That word stayed in my head. What does new even mean? Was I not good for him now? Were 8 years of being wed, 2 kids, and all we had not enough? He packed his things that night and left with no fight. Just like that, my marriage was done.
He went out the door, leaving me with Mia and Max, who did not get why Dad was not home. The divorce papers came fast, like he could not wait to be free of me. And do you know the worst part? He and Tiffany did not wait. They got wed a few months after. My own stepsister wed my man, and I had to tell my kids why their dad was starting a new life with a new person. My dad and Linda even went to the wedding, all smiles like all was fine. I did not go, for sure. I stayed home with my kids, trying to see how to fix my life. It was like a bad dream I could not wake from. I think of me on my room floor that night, so mad, so let down. How could Mark do this to me? How could Tiffany, my own stepsister, be so mean? And how could my dad and Linda just watch and let it be? That's when I chose. I would not let them break me. I had Mia and Max to think of. They needed me, and I had to be strong for them. I did not know how I would do it, but I would start again. I would not let Mark and Tiffany win. They could keep each other. I had more key things to do, like care for my kids and fix my life. And that's how my true start began. So, after Mark left, I was all lost. How do you fix your life when your man just leaves? I was in a fog for a time, trying to see what to do. The home felt so bare, and each spot made me think of the life I thought I had, the life that was done. But I could not sit and feel bad for myself. I had 2 kids who needed me, Mia and Max, and they did not get what was going on. To them, Dad was not home, and they wanted to know why. Mia, who was 6 then, would ask me each day, "Mom, where's Dad? Will he come back now?" And Max, just 4, did not get it, but he knew something was wrong. He would say, "Mom, is Dad mad at us?" I did not know what to say. How do you tell your kids that their dad chose to go, that he picked a new person over them? So I did what I could. I would hug them, kiss them goodnight, and say we would be fine, though deep in me I did not know if we would. I think of one night Mia came to me with a grave look like she thought a lot. "Mom, are we not rich now?" she asked. That hurt a lot. We were not poor yet, but we would be if I did not fix things. Mark made good cash, but the help he gave for the kids was a joke. It was not even enough for the must-haves, much less the extras like school things, clothes, or, life costs. So I sat at the food table one night looking at our bank cash, and it looked bad. I had no work, had not done a job in almost 10 years, and I tried to see how to pay for all we needed. Each time I thought of it, my stomach felt bad. How would I care for my kids? I could not just find a job that paid for all and let me be there for Mia and Max. It felt like I could not do it. A friend said I should go to school, maybe get new skills. "You can start again," she said. It's easy to say, but hard to do, right? But I did not have many choices. I needed a job that paid more than the least pay, and the only way was to get some school or training. So I did the most scary thing I could think of. I went to a small college. I took some number classes because, let's be true, numbers make sense. They do not lie or cheat or leave you for your stepsister. Numbers just work. And I needed something sure in my life. The first class day, I felt like I could not do it. All there seemed more young, more smart, more set. But I kept going, since what else could I do? I had 2 kids who needed me. It was hard, very hard, doing school, caring for Mia and Max, and just trying to not sink. It felt like I was going down most days. But then I met Rachel. She was a mom with 2 kids who worked 3 jobs and went to school. She was like a cheer talk.
"You can do this, Jessica," she would say. "We are more strong than we think." And you know what? She was right. Slow but sure, I began to get how to do things. But Mark kept coming back like a bad thing that won't leave. He would call each few weeks and ask, "How are you? How are the kids?" Like he cared. But I knew more. He just called since he felt bad, not since he wanted to be there for the kids. The kids had not seen him in weeks, and each time I said it, he would make a reason. "I've been busy with work," or "I'll see them soon." It was always a reason. One day I just got mad. He called like all was fine and asked how we were. I stopped him and said, "What do you want, Mark? If you won't see your kids, then I don't care." There was a long, quiet time, and then he said things were hard for him too. I laughed. I laughed since what did he know about hard? He was not the one trying to care for 2 kids while in school and trying not to fall to bits each day. I put the phone down before he could say more. I was done with him making me feel bad. Months went by, and all was just a tired mess. I was up late studying, working small jobs where I could get them, and still trying to be there for Mia and Max. I went to their school things, helped with schoolwork, did all I could to make their lives stay as normal as I could. But it was hard. Some nights I cried in bed, not knowing how I would get through the next day. Then the day came when I was done with school. It was not a big party. There was no hat and dress, no big event. It was just me, Rachel, and a few other classmates eating pizza and drinking soda in the classroom. But it felt like the best win of my life. We all laughed and had fun, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like I did something good. On the way home, I looked in the mirror at Mia and Max, both asleep in the back, and I felt so proud. I did it. When all was hard, I got through. When we got home, I told them, "Mom is done with school now." And of course, Max said, "Can we get ice cream now?" I laughed so hard I cried. But this time, they were glad tears. The next day, I woke up and knew this was just the start. I had my paper, but now I had to get a job. I knew it would not be easy, but after all I had been through, I was set. I was not the same woman who let life happen to her. I would make things good for me and my kids. That's when I knew I was not just Mark's ex-wife or the girl left for her stepsister. I was Jessica. I was a mom, a student, a woman who fought hard to get her life back. And I was just starting. So a few years after all fell down, I felt things were getting good. It took a long time to get here, but step by step, I was fixing my life. After I was done with school with my number degree, I got a job at a small number firm. It was not a great place, but it was good work, and the pay was fine. Most of all, it was a job that let me pay the bills and give Mia and Max the safe life they should have. I still think of that first day at the new job. I was so scared going in, not sure if I could do the work. I had not worked in an office in so long, and I was scared I would mess up easy things like sending mail or doing the books. But my boss, Mr. Smith, was a very calm man. He took time to show me how to do things. And after a few weeks, I felt like, okay, maybe I can do this. Life at home was getting better.
2. Mia and Max were getting used to the new way, and I tried hard to keep their days the same. They were both getting big so fast. It's odd how, when you're just trying to get by, time goes by fast and you don't even know it. One day at work, something odd took place. I was at my desk doing my work when Mr. Smith asked me to come to his office. I felt my stomach drop. My mind went to all the bad things that could happen. Did I mess up a big job? Was I going to lose my job? I tried to stay calm when I went to his office, but my heart beat fast. Jessica, I looked at your work from the last few months, he said, and I got ready for bad news. And I must say, I'm glad. You have done good work, and I think you are ready for more work. Wait, what? I stood there shocked for a bit, not sure if I heard right. More work? I asked, trying not to sound too keen, but inside I was so happy. He smiled and said they wanted me to do more work with some big clients, which meant more pay, more trust, and yes, more work. But it felt like a big step up. I left that office feeling like I was walking on air. After all I had been through, being left, having to start over, it felt like I was getting somewhere. This was the good thing I had worked so hard for. That night when I got home, I told Mia and Max, and what they said, as always, was about what they would get. Can we get more ice cream now? Max asked, with a big smile. I laughed, since of course that's what they thought, but in that time, I did not care. We did have ice cream that night, since why not? It was one of those times I could see my hard work was paying off, not just for me, but for my kids too. The next few weeks went by fast. I felt more good at work, doing big jobs and finding a new trust in myself that I did not know I had. I was not just Jessica, the woman left by her man. I was turning into more, into something stronger. I could feel it in how I walked, how I talked with people, even how I saw life. Mia and Max were doing great too. They were more on their own, making friends at school and growing into their own selves. It's odd how kids get used to things. I thought the whole thing with Mark leaving would hurt them more, but they were doing better than I thought. They asked about him less and less, and he did come and go in their lives, but not as much as he should. But that's how Mark is. He was always good at not being there when things got hard. One night, I was putting Mia and Max to bed, and Mia, who always thinks a lot, looked at me with big, serious eyes. "Mom, will we be okay?" she asked. I was not ready for it since it came from nowhere, but I knew she had thought about it for a while. I sat on her bed and hugged her. "Of course, dear. We are more than okay. We are a group, and we can do this." She smiled, and I knew she felt better. But it was something I needed to tell myself, too. We were a group, me, Mia, and Max. We were in this as one, and as long as we had each other, we would be fine. One thing I did not think would happen was how much I would like my job. Number work is not fun, but it's odd how having a calm life can feel good when you have had a bad time. Each day I went to work, I felt I was doing something that meant something. Not just for the company, but for me and my kids. Then one day, Mr. Smith asked me to come to his office again. This time I was not scared. I thought it was just a quick talk, but he gave me more pay and a more key job at the firm. It was like all was coming together. I said thanks, trying not to show how glad I was, but inside I was so happy. I got home that night and I could not wait to tell Mia and Max the good news. They were at the food table doing schoolwork. I sat with them and said, "Guess what, kids? Mom has good news." They both looked up, waiting for me to tell them. "Did you get a new job?" Mia asked. "No, but I did get a better job spot, which means things will be even better for us." They both looked lost. And then Max, who always thinks of key things, said, "Do we get more ice cream?" I had to laugh. These kids, I tell ya. Life was getting into a way I had not felt in years. Work, kids, schoolwork, some nights out with Rachel and a few friends. Things were not the best, but they were calm. And for the first time in a long time, I did not keep looking back, waiting for the next bad thing. That's when I knew I was moving on. Mark, Tiffany, all that drama, they were just parts of my past. I had bigger things coming, and I was set for what would come next. So, things were starting to feel normal again. Work was good, the kids were happy, and I felt we were moving ahead. I did not think about Mark or Tiffany much. They were like a bad shade that had gone away over time. But life has a way of giving you bad things when you don't expect it. And when I thought things were good, Mark came back wanting me. It was a normal weeknight. I had just put Mia and Max to bed after reading their best stories. Mia loved all about animals, and Max liked superheroes. I was sitting to enjoy some quiet time when my phone made a sound. I looked at the screen, and it was Mark's name. My first thought was to not answer. We had not talked in weeks, maybe months, except for a few short texts about the kids. So I thought it was just another call where he would say he cared, then be gone for weeks. But something made me answer, and when I heard his voice, I knew something was wrong. "Hey, Jessica, I have thought a lot about things," he said, with a serious and unsure sound. I just breathed deep. Not again. "What do you want, Mark?" I asked, not in the mood for his usual talk. I had no more patience for him, and he knew it. "I think I made a big mistake," he said, with a very soft voice. I almost laughed. This was the man who left me and our kids to wed my stepsister, and now he was not sure? "So you think," I said, trying not to sound mean, but I did. "I don't think you will pardon me, but things with Tiffany are bad. I'm having a hard time," he went on, and I could hear how sad he sounded. It was sad, true. I let him talk for a few more minutes about how bad his life was, how he thought Tiffany was not like she seemed, and how he missed the calm of our family. It was like hearing someone talk about a bad bye, not a marriage. He tried to say maybe we could talk or fix things, but I knew what he wanted, and I was done. "Mark, that's not my problem now," I said, stopping him. "You made your choice. You picked Tiffany, and you left us. Now you're sad, and what do you want? For me to feel bad for you?" There was a long quiet time, and for a bit, I thought he hung up. But then he spoke again, more soft, like he was trying to seem weak. "Can we just meet and talk? I need someone to talk to." I took a deep breath, thinking of Mia and Max asleep upstairs. I thought of how hard it had been for them, getting used to Mark not being there and all the changes. They should have a dad who was there for them, not just when he wanted. And I should not have to deal with Mark's mess just because he could not fix his own life. "No, Mark," I said strong. "There's nothing more to say. You're not my job now." And I put the phone down before he could say more. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was done with that part of my life. Mark was not a weight holding me back. He was just gone. The next day, life went on as normal. I made food for Mia and Max, got them set for school, and went to work. But in my thoughts, I kept thinking of that call. It was not that I felt bad for Mark, not at all, but it showed me how far I had come. A few years ago, that call would have hurt me. I would have spent days or weeks thinking about what he said, wondering if I should have given him a new chance. But now, it was like a small thing. I had moved on, and nothing Mark said could change that. A few days later, I was getting the kids from school when Mia,
who always saw things, asked me something I did not expect. "Mom, why don't we see Dad much now?" she asked, with her big, serious eyes. Max, in the back, was quiet, but I knew he was listening. I did not know what to say at first. How do you tell your kids their dad is not there for them without making him sound bad? I did not want to lie, but I did not want to hurt them. Sometimes people make choices that are not fair, I said to her. Dad loves you both, but he is trying to fix his life now. Mia did not say anything for a bit, and I thought she was sad, but then she just nodded. It's okay, she said soft. And that was all. She did not ask more, and I did not say more. I think she knew, even at 6 years old, that her dad was not the dad she wished he was. That night, after the kids were in bed, I sat on the couch and thought of all that had happened. The divorce, Mark wedding Tiffany, him calling to say he made a mistake. It felt like a dream. If you had told me a few years ago that I would be past all that mess, I would not have believed you. But here I was, and I was more strong than I ever thought I could be. I was not just getting by, I was living. My job was good, the kids were happy, and I had let go of the mad and sad feelings that made me feel bad for so long. Mark's mess was his problem, not mine, and I would not let him or anyone make me go back to it. As I sat there, I felt calm come over me. For the first time in years, I was not waiting for the next bad thing. I was not looking back, scared my life would break again. I had made something strong, something no one could take from me. And that's when I knew I did not need Mark. I never did. So, after all, with Mark and his sad try to come back, life felt calm. I did not think of him anymore, and I felt I had found my way again. Work was good, the kids did well in school, and for the first time in a long time, I was glad about what would come. I was not just getting by, I was doing well. Then, all of a sudden, my lawman called. I did not think he would call, so when I saw his number on my phone, I was confused. But I answered, and he told me news. Jessica, I want to tell you something. Mark has money problems. His workplace closed, and he wants to give less money for the kids. Of course he did. I should not have been surprised, but I was. After all he did, after he left our kids, now he wanted to give them less? It was like he had no end to how much he thought of himself. I felt mad, but I tried to stay calm on the phone. Okay, what can I do? I asked. My lawman, who helped me with the divorce, knew I would not just let Mark have his way. We can fight in court, he said, and with his money problems now, the judge might agree with him. The best thing might be to talk and find a way that works for both. I sat looking at the wall, trying to see what to do. On one side, I did not want to let Mark get away. He had things he must do, and just because his life was bad did not mean he could not do them. But on the other side, I did not want to fight in court for months with the kids in the middle. Let's meet and talk about it, I said. I want to know what we are dealing with. A few days later, I sat with my lawman, looking at the numbers. Mark's state was worse than I thought. His workplace had closed, and things with Tiffany were very bad. My lawman was careful with his words, but it was clear that Mark was having a hard time, not just with money, but with all things. He was going down, and he wanted me to save him. As much as I wanted to be mean and tell him to fix his own mess, I had to think of Mia and Max. They were the ones who would be hurt by this, not me. After a long talk, we made a plan.
I would not cut the money for the kids all the way, but we would make a fund for the kids' future, something that would make sure they were cared for no matter what happened with Mark. That way, I could make sure they had what they needed, and Mark could not get out of what he must do later. It was not the win I wanted, but it was the best thing for the kids. Later that week, I had to tell Mia and Max about it in the most simple way. They were both at the food table doing their schoolwork, and I sat with them, trying to see how to tell him. Your dad has money problems, I said, and Mia looked up with that serious face she always had when she tried to understand grown-up things. But you don't need to worry. We have a plan to make sure you are always cared for. Max, who was more into his drawing, did not seem to hear, but Mia was thinking, does that mean we won't see that as much? She asked soft. I had not thought of that. Mark had come and gone in their lives so much, and now with his money problems, who knew if he would come at all? But I did not want them to feel they were losing something. You will see your dad when he can come, but I will always be here, okay? We will be fine. She nodded like she got it and went back to her schoolwork. I watched them both, feeling proud and sad at the same time. They should have better than the mess Mark had made, but at least they had me. I did all I could to make their lives calm and safe, and that was what mattered. A few weeks later, on a Saturday, I was in the kitchen making flat cakes. It was our small thing, flat cakes every Saturday, no matter what. The smell filled the home, and the kids would run to the kitchen like always, ready to eat. That day was the same. Mia and Max ran in with happy faces. "Mom, guess what?" Mia shouted as she ran in. "My team won our soccer game and I made the last goal." Max, not wanting to be left out, said, "I kicked the ball so hard, almost hit the other team." He had a big smile, so proud of himself. I smiled as I made another flat cake. "That's great, kids. I'm so proud of you both. Let's have more sweet stuff today." As we sat to eat, the sun came through the kitchen window, making the table warm. I looked at Mia and Max, hearing them talk about their soccer game, and I knew something. This time right here was what was important. It was not the big wins that mattered. It was these small, quiet times, sitting with my kids, knowing that no matter what had happened, we were okay. We had been through the worst, and we were still here. "Mom," Mia said suddenly, making me stop thinking, "are our flat cakes strong?" She looked at the flat cake on her plate like it would answer her. I laughed. "Well, maybe not strong like a superhero, but they are strong enough to hold a lot of sweet stuff, right?" Max laughed. "Flat cakes are super strong." And just like that, we started to talk about if flat cakes were more strong than waffles, which ended with Max saying that waffles had secret powers because of the small squares that could hold sweet stuff. As they kept talking, I knew how far we had come. We had gone from a broken family, trying to see how to go on, to something more strong. We were a team now, the three of us, and nothing, not Mark, not his mess, not any of the bad from the past was going to break us. I did not need a big end to our story. This time right here, this simple Saturday, was all I needed to feel done.